listening to the Scoop Slammed podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam podcast, TikTok's favorite up-and-coming wrestling podcast. We got a big weekend from WWE in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to break down, as well as some sports news with the Roll Tide, the Lakers signing, a big free agent. Some are saying, I'm not saying that, some are saying. And as always, we're here to talk about just the various happenings around wrestling, and maybe a little bit of why people are hypocrites. As always, the co-host of the Scoop Slam podcast is joining me, the historian. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah. Good to be back here with you, ready to talk about some more Samoans and some real Graps. Let's get into it.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about on this show. Not solely just from the wrestling, the matches, but there's so many just like thoughts and think pieces that people have come out with about this. So we're ready to give our think piece. But as I alluded to at the beginning, Alabama and Kalen DeBoer and maybe Nick Saban, depending on who you believe, on an absolute recruiting tear right now.
Oh yeah, another 5-star down. I was told he couldn't recruit down here, Mike. That's what I was told. Old Kalen DeBoer. He won't be able to recruit down here in the South.
That's
they
what
call
I heard.
West Coast Shula. That's what they called him.
West Coast. I heard Husky Harson,
There
at
you
one
go.
point. It's just funny to me, too, because now the goalposts have moved from Alabama they used to pay their players back in the day. And so then when NIL started, it's a level playing field, and Alabama doesn't have as much money as everybody does. And now that Alabama's getting all the recruits, it's like Alabama has too much NIL money again. Or they've moved the goalpost to, that's just because Nick Saban's recruiting for you. Okay. And if you had the greatest college football coach of all time on your team, you don't think you would get him to help recruit as well?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these guys are local kids. It's 2 5-stars from Alabama. You got one from Georgia, which he was the number 1 player in Georgia, I might add. But a lot of these guys, they're not far from Alabama, and that's guys you should target. And DeBoer's doing a great job building a rapport with the surrounding counties and high schools around in the area. But Micah, it just warms my heart that Auburn is doing so bad right now. I think they've dropped down to number 80 in the recruiting trail. They're last in the SEC. You see that? They're like last.
And they were kind of earmarked to get that, I think his name's Cedarian Morgan. Was that the guy we got today?
Yes. It's good to have him. Welcome to the squad.
Yeah.
Big receiver.
And so
big kid.
Dude, a lot, like the average height of receivers that DeBoer is getting is like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
I mean, just giants.
He recruited some 5'7" jabroni, but everybody's saying he's a dog, so we'll give him a chance. You got to be a dog to be in that room. Everybody else 6'4".
Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy. We're back. Everybody wrote Alabama off after 1 year, and we said it all the time on the pod. It's a transition year.
Yeah. If that's a down year, I'll take that. I'll take that.
We were 1 game away from being in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Right, we should have been there actually, but I digress. We're just a basketball school now. We're a football school, Micah. Are we doing good in baseball? I don't know the baseball.
We were.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think we're pretty solid in softball. The women's basketball team was ranked,
Yeah.
Everything's cool.
Auburn is just straight a golf school now. And maybe a little basketball. Football should never be, come on now. Just tear down the program. What was that last coach they had? It was like a sex pest. What's his name?
Brian Harsin. Or Hugh Freeze, depending on who you ask.
Well, yeah, there you go.
But that moves us to Lakerland for just a small diversion. DeAndre Ayton signing with the Lakers, and then we got some other white guy. I don't even
Yeah.
remember his name.
We we got a lot of white guys on the Lakers. We're here for diversity. We are a diverse group of people, Micah, on the Lake Show. We can probably run an all-white lineup.
I was about to say,
That's
do we have
anything for
the most white people on an NBA team currently?
We got Connect, we got Luca, we got Reeves, we got the jabroni from the Kings that I forget, and Maxi Kleber. So yeah, you could run a all white lineup.
And have a 6-man.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
If you're an old
anyways,
school Boston Celtics fan, that's your dream lineup right there.
oh man, there's so many jokes there that I'm not gonna touch, but you
Utah
know.
Jazz dream
Oh my god, did you see that? I sent it to you earlier, that TikTok. It was this dude, he was playing 2K, and he was like, no, where did I get drafted? He was like, the Jazz, no, and then it went to Ace Bailey highlights.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh man, but it's a
Did you
fun time to
wait?
be
No,
fans.
hold up. Did you see that BYU quarterback got thrown off the team for having sex?
Oh, I did see that. And he was already like a big
Yeah,
deal for them over there because he was Jewish.
he's the top 10 quarterback in college football 26, bro. So how's that gonna work in the game? Like, is he just gonna be straight off in the transfer portal when you boot up the game?
Wow. Can he not? Can he still transfer? Like,
I don't know. I think you have to go to the next portal, right? The next portal opens in January.
oh my
I think it's
God.
January. Ain't it January? There ain't one before
I
the
think
season.
so.
Yeah, there's not one before the season.
Either it may be in December, but either way, he should be able
Yeah.
to get his eligibility back. I mean, I'm not advocating, I'm not saying what he did was okay, but I mean, that's crazy in 2025 to see somebody get suspended for that.
Well, it's BYU. What do you? It's like going to
Yeah.
Liberty and trying that fornication. You think this is Arizona?
And Utah is just a weird. I won't say too much, man. People might
All
people might
right.
be listening, but
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Utah's got some weird stuff going on, man. There's a lot of documentaries out there. I won't get into them,
Well,
but yeah.
well,
You ever hear about that one chick? Oh man, I watched a documentary on it. She had that family or whatever that was like viral on YouTube.
vaguely, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It's on Hulu. I can't remember the name of it, but if you're out there listening, you throw on, dude. It's like it really talks about the like impact on being like a kid influencer, and
Yeah.
it's just not good. And then like she gets just absolutely off her rocker by the end of it, and the stuff
Well,
that she ended up doing to her kids is very sad.
hey, bro, do you know that guy Ryan's World? You know he's still making videos on YouTube. He's like 14 years old.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what kind of content he
Look,
made.
he's like he was a kid influencer on YouTube where he did like unboxing videos when he was like 5 years old. His parents are still making him do like kid unboxing videos. Bro is like a 11th grader now. Like, let that man go to school.
Well, I mean, if he still enjoys it, then that's fine. If it's like
I don't
if
know.
dad's in there and he's like, "Son, you've got to unbox this."
Son, you have to unbox this new LOL doll. I don't care.
Son, here's your LeBron Barbie. Now, open it up.
Look excited.
Well, we gotta venture out across the world to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to break down WWE's Night
Oof.
of Champions from this past weekend. And to start us off, we've got the King of the Ring finals. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton in Cody's first singles match since WrestleMania.
Well, let me hold up, Micah. Before we start, this was probably the weakest in-ring show that WWE's put out this whole year. So I was very down on this show overall. But I did think this was the best match of the night, Randy and Cody.
It's it's kind of funny because I don't know if I just came in with low expectations, but I I kind of liked the show. Like
What? Come on, man.
it wasn't just like the best thing I've ever seen, but I think WWE has had such a low bar this year that I was like kind of okay with this show.
The in ring didn't bother you between the
Uh,
ropes?
we'll get there. I think you're a little harsher on a certain match than I am, or maybe most of the matches.
Well, yeah, most of the matches. I don't know if we're gonna be down on the match that I think you're talking about. But yeah, the Randy and Cody match was good. It was fine. Better than
Yeah.
Cody's match they had with Cena.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the best way I can say it is it was a good match from two guys that wrestle the same 3-star style.
They told a good story too. It wasn't just
They
about the moves.
did. And that's what I'm saying. Like it was not bad at all. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it just kind of was what I expected. Like Randy is going to go through emotions, which is fine. It wasn't it was never gonna be match of the year. Now I think best match on the card, sure. But it was obviously a very safe match and it had a lot of stakes. I do think one quick thing, with it being babyface versus babyface, do you think it hurt Cody at all? Because it kind of seemed like to me the fans in Saudi were more on the side of Randy than they were Cody.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way. I don't know. Cody might be losing his babyface shine over the last couple months. It doesn't feel the same ever since I guess coming out of WrestleMania. Maybe a little before that actually. I don't know.
I think it was a little before that because they were leaning into it for a while. They were leaning
Yeah.
into the like Cody has heel tendencies, and then they went left with the Cena feud, and it was like, oh, he's this uber babyface. And so now that he's back, I don't think people have forgotten that. And then at one point in the match, like Randy
He cheated.
well, yeah, he cheated, but he was going to punt Cody, and the fans were cheering for it.
Well, wouldn't you have cheered?
I mean, well, honestly, I did want Cody to win just because I want to see Randy and Cena again. If we're being honest, I don't want to see either of these guys fight Cena again.
Yeah. Yeah, Cody did he cheated because he rammed Randy's ribs into the exposed turnbuckle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at the same
Took
time,
advantage.
Randy started it.
Okay, but he's still supposed to be the babyface and doing the right thing. Remember at WrestleMania? He chose not to hit Cena with the title belt, even though Cena brought the title belt in the ring.
That's true. Or maybe he's learning. Maybe he's leaning to the dark side, and we get the rare
Mm.
double turn at SummerSlam.
I was just about to ask you. There's been a lot of rumblings about Cody Rhodes turning heel. Do you think there's any validity to those type of rumors that Cody might be the one turning heel, and maybe Cena goes back and turns babyface? Maybe we get a double turn at SummerSlam. Can you see that?
I could, and I
Really?
I think that might be the direction they go in. But let me ask you, you're the historian, obviously. You've been around, you've seen a thing or two. How do you think that they would accomplish that?
Um, oof, man, nobody wants to boo Cena, bro. So I think if Cody does something heelish in the match, the crowd will play ball and boo Cody Rhodes. Because nobody wants to boo Cena in his last year.
Yeah. I think, and
I
it's
don't think
not
you
going to
think.
happen
Yeah.
because Cena's so protective or whatever. But I think if Cody like really went in on the cheating and say he like busted Cena up pretty good, I think that could probably tie it all together. Because if Cody cheats, I could still see him getting cheered somewhat. But like seeing your hero, it's like at the end of Cars whenever the Dynaco car is
Okay.
just absolutely destroyed. You know, you don't want to see
Yeah.
the old man go out like that.
Maybe a Travis Scott reappearance. That'd get him
Oh
booed.
God. Oh God. Get out of here.
I'm just saying, man. That would get him booed in New Jersey.
I
It would
can't.
it would redeem the Cena heel turn if we get a Cody heel turn out of
Well, since we're so close to Massachusetts, do you think Cena's cheered anyways?
it. Well, Cena. Cena is gonna get cheered wherever he goes. It don't matter if he goes to Poughkeepsie. It doesn't matter if he goes to Saudi Arabia. It doesn't matter if he goes to, I don't know, the Congo. He's going to get cheered wherever he goes. It's John Cena, especially in his last year. Nobody wants to boo Cena. Cena's going to get
Which
cheered.
it's another reason why I don't think that this heel run has really worked. I mean,
Nope.
and I still have people in the comments like trying to defend the Cena turn, and it just I don't get it, man. Like the segments he's had with Punk have been fine. I enjoyed those. But I mean, it's really just nostalgia bait. It's not even just like great storytelling.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Just living off. The people got the nostalgia glasses on. So they remember him for what he was. And he could do literally anything now. And they would call it cinema or cinema, as I seen that getting floated around online.
Yeah, it's floating all right. Floating like a
Okay.
turd.
But
Well,
yeah, man, you know how it is.
I do think something has to happen at SummerSlam. I don't think we just get a straight like cut and dry Cody wins, LOL. Like I don't think that happens. There's got to be some kind of shenanigans. Which
Would the predictable ending be the worst ending, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I think the worst ending would be Cena just winning.
That'd be worse. You know what? I wouldn't mind that actually. If Cena dropped the title to somebody else, I don't know if I want a Cody title run again. At least not right
I just
now.
don't know. I mean, who else would he drop it to though? A Seth cash in maybe?
Yeesh. Man. I'm now that I'm looking around.
I mean,
Wait a
Punk
minute.
was the guy.
Seth is on Raw, so it has to be some. What about LA Knight? What about LA
Well, he's
Knight,
kind
man?
of on Raw now too, ain't he?
Was he on Raw last Monday? I ain't watched. I don't know.
Yeah, him and Seth kind of had a brawl in the concession
Oh,
area.
okay. Oh, okay.
Raw was
Alright.
actually pretty solid. I did watch it, but I figured, we're talking about this. There wasn't a whole lot to really just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, we have to talk about this.
Well, getting back to the Orton Cody match, they told a good story here. Cody didn't do what needed to be done at WrestleMania, but now he did what needed to be done here to win the King of the Ring. And I got a feeling it's going to build up to, the storyline progression is going to be Cody's not going to fall for John Cena's heel tactics and not going to fall for the fake handshake and the low blow. And he's going to come prepared next time they face up. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, it was some good stuff. Did you see Cody didn't wear the crown after the King of the Ring win? He didn't wear the crown.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, didn't put it on. I don't think Gunther wore it last year either. 2 years in a row.
No, I feel like I remember Gunther coming out with it the next night on Raw, but I don't know.
Nah, he never wore it. Oh. America has
Well,
no kings, Micah.
oh man. Don't get started on the political movements. We got enough politics to talk about later with the Punk match.
All right.
Following that, we had what I like to call the Gimp Suit Street Fight: Raquel
Oh, no.
Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley.
Hey, bro, it didn't seem like they were tag partners in this match. Why they wear the same gear?
Yeah, it was a little hard to tell who was who for a little
It was
bit.
hard, huh? How hard was
Oh,
it,
come
Mike?
on.
I'm
It
just saying,
was
well,
difficult.
okay. That's okay. Bro, it's gonna be so
Yeah.
weird when they're doing the Rumble because like how are they gonna distinguish themselves from each other because all of them wear the black gimp bodysuits. Are you gonna be able to tell who's who in the ring at the Rumble?
They're definitely gonna have to go they're gonna have to go AWOL with the colors. Like it's gonna have to be very stark differences because
Yeah.
this was hard with it was difficult to tell who was who in a one-on-one setting. I can't imagine with 10 people in the ring. I forgot they were going here next year for the Rumble too, till you said that.
Maybe they have to call up RVD's guy and get them airbrushed, some airbrush suits. Maybe they can
I
do
wouldn't
that,
hate
man.
that.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that either. But yeah,
Well, see, Bianca always has a hot pink one that she would come out in. It has glitter and all over it, So something like that could probably work.
okay, all right. Or they could start back wearing the T-shirts again and then just wear their gear, like their merch. They wear that.
Come out looking like Kevin Owens.
Hey, it works for him.
Ain't working for me.
No.
Going back to the match, I thought Raquel actually really, really shocked me here. This was a really good match that I was not expecting to be anything. I thought it was going to be 10 minutes in and out, whatever. It was here. But she looked menacing early. She took the lead kind of the match. One spot that I thought was really cool was when Rhea tried to jump off the announce table. Raquel catches her and then slams her through the hood of the table that was propped up. That was a cool spot and kind of gave Raquel some shine, and I feel like she's been playing second fiddle to Liv, or any other time I feel like I've seen her. It's just been not as smooth. So I don't know if that's Rhea's doing here or hers, but I was very impressed with her in this match.
No, I don't think it's just you, bro. Raquel, I watched her in NXT. I feel like she was a lot better in NXT than what she showed on the main roster. I don't know if that had anything to do with. She had that skin situation for a little while on the main roster. Maybe that, I don't know. Maybe she couldn't train with that. I don't know. It's been hit or miss for Raquel for me, but she got no reaction in this match. Raquel, she got no reaction. Meanwhile, Rhea gets Steve Austin reactions in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Rhea kind of gets those reactions anywhere, if we're being honest. But I don't know outside of the top 3 women in WWE that they really care about women's wrestling in Saudi Arabia, because Asuka and Jade didn't get, well, Jade got a reaction, but it was for a different reason. But Asuka got no reaction.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's gonna be weird when they do the Rumble over there with 30 women.
Yeah. Well, another thing, maybe just from when they were officially kind of starting this, because you were watching, are they allowed to watch the women's segments on the weekly TV shows? Because they have way less clothes on.
I know in the video packages when they're showing it over there on the Titantron that they do not include the women. So I don't know how it works for the stations over there. I don't know.
I just didn't know if maybe I could see it being if
they get blurred out. Or you think they're pixelated, Micah? What do you think over there?
I don't know. I wouldn't exactly rule that out. Or I could see it being that's what they do in America, but here we're not gonna present that to the world. So that's only a thing in Saudi.
Well, they're not North Korea, Micah. They're not controlling what's on the TV to an extent. I'm sure they letting. I'm sure they probably let them watch what they want to watch.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. All right.
But getting back to the match, like I said, way better than I was expecting. I kind of got to the point that I wanted Raquel to win, just because I felt like she needed it more, and she was actually looking kind of impressive. And especially with Liv not being here now, which they kind of fixed that situation on Monday as well, with the Roxanne stuff. But I don't think it would have hurt Rhea to lose this match, and I think it would have done that much for Raquel to win. But I say all that to say this: I did like the way the finish transpired.
Well, before we talk about the finish, you thought Rhea was losing a match, a Triple H book match?
I should have known better.
Yeah, come on now. I didn't like the referee holding the table. That's the only part I didn't like. I gotta be consistent because I don't like when AEW does that when they got the referees hanging all off the ladder while the performers doing the spots on top of the ladder. I don't like that. So when I see it in the other company, I can call it out. It looks goofy. The referee's just standing there.
See, and I'm not even saying this as like a. I know people are gonna be, oh, you're just a Fed chill. I really didn't even notice it in this one, but at the same time, like I don't know, it doesn't bother me in
That's a good
AEW as
referee
long
then.
as they don't make it obvious.
That's a good referee then. If you don't notice it, because they're just supposed to be there, and you're not supposed to notice them. But I'll be looking at the little stuff, so I'll be paying attention to stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I'm for real. I didn't even know that was happening, but even when they do it in AEW, I don't notice. So I don't
But
know.
I'm nitpicky, bro. I'll be looking at the performers, seeing if they're looking at the referee, because then if they're looking at the referee, they're not kick out of something. I'll look at the cameraman, see if he's standing on the stage, pointing the camera in a different direction. I'm like, oh, it's about to be running.
I do
So
look
like
for that.
I'm looking for stuff like that. But that's just me. I'm jaded. I'm a jaded fan.
You just don't like wrestling.
Uh,
Why don't you just stop watching?
oh yeah. I just
Me
like
and
when they
my
talk.
friend Mark.
I like the commercials. I don't know what the heck they do. That
Yeah, I like the travel blog
yeah.
section of the show.
Like they wrestle on the
But
show.
well, speaking of wrestling,
Mm.
you already texted me about this one, so I know what you've got to say. But we're gonna see. The following match was Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, and before anything happened, I wrote, "Let's see if all this hype is just smoke and mirrors, or if Kross actually has it."
Did he have it, Micah?
Okay, so like first off, I gotta mention this. Sean Ross Sapp loves Karrion Kross for some
Mm.
reason. I'm not
Oh, I
gonna
know.
say that he could be an informant, but
No, that's the reason. You know that's the reason.
but he was like, "See, guys, he takes flat back bumps," and I was like, "Dude, this is such a clown like behavior. You're making your informant so obvious." But I didn't think Cross did that bad. There's something in there that doesn't fully sync up, and I don't know what it is, but it wasn't just god awful because you watched it before I did. And you
Yeah.
texted me, you said Cross is awful in there. And I was like, I was really expecting something bad.
It's just not there. I don't think he wrestles like he should be wrestling. I mean, because he's a pretty decent sized guy. Maybe he needs more power moves. I don't know. It's not there. It doesn't translate to the TV. And he got a decent reaction coming out, but then when the bell rang, nobody cared. I mean, they like Sammy there, but Cross, man, he's just so bland, so bland. He
See,
cut
and
that one work shoot promo, and then the IWC has been championing this guy for a long time, and now they want him to beat Sami Zayn, a guy that's been positioned as almost like a step below the main event scene. Like, what are people smoking? This guy hasn't had a match. Cross hasn't had a match since WrestleMania, and they would expect him to beat Sami Zayn. Oh, Sammy Hogan just buried another up and coming talent. Bro, Cross is 40 years old. If he ain't got it yet, he's not gonna get it.
also, where did the Sammy Hogan stuff start? Like,
Oh,
the guy
oh,
has never been a world champion.
that when he beat Gunther, because everybody wanted Chad Gable to win the IC title. Chad Gable's being held down. Of course, Sammy Hogan can beat Gunther, but not Chad Gable. That's where he came from.
I
People
mean, I can
really
agree with
remember that.
that though, because I
Remember
think Chad should have won.
But
that don't make Sammy the bad guy.
Sammy Hogan, Micah, you know this. Kicks out of
Come on.
everything.
So does everybody now, though. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Oh, bro, I'm not pounding the desk over here saying that Cross should have won. I think Sammy should beat guys like weekly.
yeah.
I don't mind it.
I just don't get what I don't know. I don't see it with Cross because even if this was the state of his in-ring work, because we're going to talk about somebody else in next up, or well, not next up, but a little bit later, that, you know, maybe the in-ring work is not just the greatest thing you've ever seen, but there's something to, there's an aura, and I know that word gets used so much, but like Cross, his promos aren't exactly just the greatest thing in the world. His presence, he feels painfully mid-card. And, like, people are wanting that dude to win Money in the Bank. Like, he's never even won a mid-card title, and you want him to be world champion because of one promo?
One work shoot promo where he said the Fed is bad, and now all of a sudden he's the heart and soul of the IWC. I very rarely have seen situations like this. And it's not like he gets monster reactions coming out. I mean, yes, he doesn't have many matches nowadays, but still, I mean, this was the time. I mean, LA Knight going to that Saudi show, what was that, 2 years ago? He didn't have many matches at that point, and they still reacted huge for him. I don't even think he was on the card on that show, and they still chanted his name at like the press conference in Saudi. I think that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just, Cross, his wife seems like she could be a big star.
You would say that.
Well, I'm just like, let her get in the ring. She can wrestle, right?
I think, I don't know, she was a demon on GM mode. 2K24, dude, she was like, she did not lose when I had her.
I didn't know she was a playable character.
Yeah, I didn't either because I've never seen her wrestle, but like, dude, I picked her up because she was like a low over. And then it was like all of a sudden she just got hot and was beating like Rhea Ripley weekly. I was like, okay. And then she had like a year-long title reign.
You give her the push?
I did. I had to put the rocket ship to her.
Karrion Kross get any play in that same pop?
He wasn't even on the roster. We Mark Marrowed him and just kept his wife. Oh shoot.
That's real.
Slight sidebar before we move to the next match. I think, they showed Santos and Humberto and is the other guy's name Angel?
Yeah, Angel.
Okay. So they showed them and they had the AAA World Tag Team titles. I think this is the perfect opportunity to put the AAA World title on Santos because for a long time, me and you have talked about that, like, Santos is pretty good in the ring, but it's just like people don't cling to him.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really care.
And I think maybe if you put that title on him, it gives him a little bit of legitimacy without taking the opportunity away from, like, somebody like Solo or Jacob who is holding card titles now.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Santos can go down there and have like a 1.5 year long reign. And that can start translating into the WWE TV. And now we get a guy we care about. And Santos as like world champion of AAA, like, I think he would look like a world champion,
He's in that weird spot, bro, where I think it goes back to what we were saying last week. A lot of the mid-card guys really should be in the main event scene. And the main event scene is guys that were been in the main event scene for a very long time. So if you had guys like LA Knight, like Jacob Fatu, if you had guys like I don't know, Braun Breaker taking that next step into the main event scene, and guys like Seth and Cena were taking a step back, then you could have guys like Escobar being in the actual mid-card scene, and you can have Aleister Black, having meaningful mid-card feuds. You can have guys like that doing meaningful things in the mid-card. But right now, the mid-card is so bloated because the main event scene is so, I don't know, So stagnant.
Yeah. I had people comment on that video and they were like, you're gonna miss them when they're gone. Trust me, I am not going to miss John Cena or Randy Orton when they're not here. I have gotten my fair share of those two. I'm fat off of how many John Cena and Randy Orton matches I've been.
Bro, I've literally watched these guys for hundreds of hours. I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay. If I don't see another Randy Orton match, I'm good. If I don't see another Cena match, I'm okay. I
I
think
think I'm
those
better
guys,
if I don't see another Cena match.
yeah, exactly. I think those guys really peaked around 10 years ago, being honest. They just kind of been
Yeah.
wasting away for a good decade, bro, when they should have been way more part-time than what they are right now.
And I think that's what's crazy is we're living in a very unprecedented era
Yeah.
of wrestling
Yeah.
where the guys peak, used to be 5, 6, 8 years. Now we got guys that have been there for 16,
But
20 years, still at the top of the card.
well, you know what, Micah? It actually used to be like this around, the territory days. Guys would last around, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years drawing at the top of the card. But the difference is they didn't have 3 weekly television shows to fill with 3 hours worth of TV block every single day. Like we're getting
Yeah.
9 hours worth of TV we got to burn through. And so guys get overexposed. So, in the 90s, when you did have like a comparable amount of TV time, guys didn't last long, bro. You had like 2 or 3 years max in the spotlight. Like Steve Austin was the biggest star in the business. And then 3 years into his stardom, he wasn't there anymore. Rob, same thing, wasn't there anymore.
Yep.
It's very rare that guys last on TV that long. I mean, you had guys like Taker and Shawn last for 20 plus years, but they should be few and far between. Now we got guys like, I love the Miz, big Miz fan. But guys like the Miz should not be around for 20 plus years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston. I love Kofi, but he shouldn't be around 20 plus years. R-Truth. What happened to all the R-Truth fans? Where are they at now?
I don't even know what he's doing anymore. Like,
I don't know
has
where the
he?
fans.
I haven't been tapped into SmackDown. Has he done anything since he lost Cena?
He came out and beat up somebody 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember who that was. Aleister Black was about to have a match, and he came out and beat up somebody. I don't know. And he had stare down with Aleister Black.
Well,
Yeah.
see where that barn burner leads.
But anyway, you know what I'm saying, Micah? Guys like that should be on TV for 20 plus years.
No, I get it. Like and the problem is like AEW can't be the retirement either. That was what killed TNA.
Yeah. They've been
So
better.
I don't know.
AEW not hiring every WWE cast off.
Yeah. I just it feels stagnant, man. We talked about it last week. We'll move to the United States Championship match, which was next up after this. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. A good back and forth early. Solo is at his core a less athletic Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
But I still think I see world champ potential with Solo one day.
You like the Jolly Jokester Solo Sikoa, right?
I don't know, man. He kind of pops me. And I know that's kind of off brand for me because I don't like funny in my wrestling. But I don't know why I find Solo.
Yeah, he's an entertaining guy, but I mean that bell has to ring eventually. Like in the ring, I was just nagging on Cross. I mean, I gotta give that same energy to Solo Sikoa. Which, by the way, why is his name Solo if he's never solo?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, they give a guy named Solo and he's never by himself.
Maybe that's the brilliance of it.
Oh, okay. It's Solo's gimmick that he's just the biggest New Japan mark out there because he brought in Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and I got Hikuleo, Tala Tonga now.
Or maybe he
Yeah.
just hates Ring of Honor.
That about me.
That's a deep cut. If you know, you know. That's such a legendary clip because he throws the crap out of that title belt. Get this out of here.
He was telling the truth, bro. Now looking in hindsight, I mean, do you know who the ROH Tag Champions are now?
Is it
Sons of Texas?
Is that Dustin and Sammy?
Mute Sammy and Dustin.
Put the panda head back on him.
Just castrated Sammy. What was the name of that jabroni that was in Game of Thrones? They got castrated, and he was like, "What, Reek? Yeah, Reek."
Oh, Reek. Oh God, yeah. It was Theon, and then he just got like horribly mentally scarred and got turned into Reek.
That's what Sammy is now, bro. He's wearing a suit. He doesn't do any of the stuff he used to do. He just mute. Oh, Reek.
That's hilarious. Dustin just in the backstage area. No, your name is Reek. Oh man. Well, he reeks of something, all right.
We got deep in now.
Well, speaking of mute people, we got our demon home, Ryan. The infamous Tonga Loa comes back to save the day.
Yeah, he's back. Apparently, his return got millions of views across all social media. So, I mean, the fan base is there for the GOAT.
Is that real? I thought it was satire.
I don't know. I thought it was real. I fell for it.
Because it said like 18 million views. I was like, there is no way you got that. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, remember Rock's return got over 100? I can see, Uncle Lola getting 18 million. You don't think?
Well, I mean, it's
disrespect
the family.
Tonga Loa. Yeah, you disrespect the GOAT Tonga Loa, man.
My favorite thing is I've now seen the clip of him. Just all the botches have just resurfaced, man. Missing the low blow, the stupid chop thing that he did with Okada.
Have you ever seen that intro where he was giving Tama Tonga? Where he was like, ladies and gentlemen, and hoes and flaming Doritos. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
Okay.
Oh, a very, very interesting character.
Yeah, go ahead, bring that to WWE. I'll be interested.
Oh, well, we got him. Obviously, like you said, we get the debut of Tala Tonga, formerly known as Hikuleo, who we kind of talked about him last week. Wait, what do you mean?
Bro, he couldn't get his name right. He called him Tama Tonga, Tama. You didn't hear when Michael Cole stumbled his whole appearance?
Well, it's been a couple days, admittedly.
Well, Cole could not get the guy's name right, and so he just gave up and just said, this guy right here, this man.
Well, that's who they call the GOAT. My man JR wouldn't have forgot his name.
Oh, no. But go ahead, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I was just going to say, I know that we got this, and I don't know much about his in-ring work. I know you said you weren't exactly too thrilled, but at this point in the show, man, I felt like there were too many interferences already. We didn't get one with the Randy match, which is fine. It didn't need one. Then we get Roxanne, and she was in the Raquel and Rhea match. Sammy and Cross was fine. Like, I think Scarlett got involved a little bit, but that's, typical for a manager. But, we got the run in here, and I knew we were going to get a. So that's 3 on the same show. And like you said earlier, we call a spade here. I call out AEW for their run-ins. Like at some point, man, WWE, because they do the same thing, man. It's just run in after run in after run in. Like it's coming if there's a heel world champion.
Well, AEW usually does it at the end of the match. Like after the bell rings, they'll have a big brawl with people come out from the backstage area. WWE does it during the match. It seems like every match is a Bloodline Rules match. Are they just kind of trying to promote the game, Micah, by making every match Bloodline Rules match? Wasn't that a big selling point of the last game?
I do think it
Yeah.
was because you could like customize who was gonna come out.
There you go. Yeah. So doesn't that seem like that's every match now? It's so
I
refreshing.
know in
to
the
see.
Cena.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Cena stuff hinges on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Every match is Bloodline Rules match. When did that start? Did that start around Roman's title run?
It
That's when
did, but it wasn't always on his title run.
It seemed no, because remember the Usos always interfered in his matches. So this has been
No, that is right.
how long has this? This has been going on for a long time, bro.
Well,
At
but
least
I think didn't he beat Daniel Bryan and Edge like fairly
He did.
clean at that WrestleMania?
Yeah, he stacked them, but Jay got involved.
Jeez. Okay, what about that time? What about that time he beat Brock at WrestleMania 38?
No, the Usos got involved. I remember Brock suplexed both of them.
That's right. Okay, so I guess it's just Roman.
Roman
I guess his entire run.
Roman used the title. Well, that's just regular cheating. I'm talking about like running. Yeah, that's Roman. He started this, bro. The bloodline stuff.
Well, every legend has something that they were indirectly responsible for that ended up not being good. Like, I love Shawn to death, but you can blame a lot of the Ospreys and Rollins and Young Bucks-esque matches on Shawn.
Yeah. Steve Austin. You can blame a lot of the what chants you hear nowadays on him.
Yeah. But as far as the match goes, I think that this is the right move for Jacob and Solo at this point in time. It's time for Jacob to take that next step. Like, he's already main event ready. The fans love him. Like, they're so behind his catchphrases, and he can cut promos, and he has good. There's not really much meat on the bone to me left for a mid-card run for him, unless you're going to keep him with the title forever. And I think we've seen so many long title reigns that that's not really needed. Whereas I think Solo could use a little validation. It's his first title. He's been, doing solid work. I know everybody hated that stuff that he was doing with Cody last year. But, looking back, I really don't think it was that bad compared to what we're getting now.
Well, his promo work has always been, I won't say always been, ever since they let him show his actual personality, it's been pretty good, man. But, my God, I told you earlier, that bell has to ring. And it's kind of one-sided here. And the fans don't really react in his matches. They just kind of sit there.
Well,
and they chant for Roman.
I mean, that's true, but maybe he needs... Like, I don't know. It feels like for some reason, we talk about all these guys they have in the card, and they're not putting them to the next level. And then it's like, when they get mid-card champs, they just don't book them against anybody, like, good. You know what I mean? Like, Jacob, who has he really been booked against aside from Solo? Like, we had LA Knight with the U.S. title forever, and I couldn't tell you one. But it doesn't make sense. We have all this talent in the mid-card, and then it's like we play against their strengths.
Hey, bro, it's been more and more apparent that the bloodline, it masked a lot of Triple H's shortcomings when it comes to being a booker. Because, I mean, bro, this has been 3 years, right? 3-4 years since he's took over. He being Triple H. Other than the bloodline, other than the Punk Drew McIntyre stuff, what other feud can you look at and say, wow, that was some great long-term storytelling. That was a great feud, which was bookended with a great match. What other than those two things can you sit there and say that for?
Really don't know. Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
the rise of Rhea has been nice, but I can't say that she's had a great story. She's had some good matches, but
yeah.
like, her and Becky had that story, and I really wasn't feeling it at the time. Gunther has had great title reigns, but that it's more the expertise and the excellence of Gunther than it is the booking. We've picked apart the way that they
Yeah.
booked him as world champion last
Bro,
year.
look at the stuff that they had the opportunity to make great. Do you remember the New Day heel turn?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think Triple H remembers it because he didn't do anything with the New Day right after the heel turn, bro. He cooled him down. He had him feud with, what was that, the Judgment Day? I don't even know who they feuded with after that. I think it was a Judgment Day. And then, the Cena heel turn.
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that since it happened, and probably the biggest wasted opportunity in the history of the business. He has to be blamed for that.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
gonna say the Seth turn so far too. Like that was a big moment, and their group has not found its footing yet.
it's. I guess it depends on who you talk to, because you go to our comment section. Apparently, they've been doing great work. But yeah,
God.
I don't know, man. Triple H is losing my faith day by day. I'm not as high on Triple H as I once was a few years ago.
Well, I will say, I'll go ahead and reveal it here. Next week we've got mid-year award, and boy,
It is.
Booker of the Year is gonna be that's gonna be a battle.
Yeah. HBK smiling down there. NXT.
I might have to tune into some NXT just to give him a fair shot.
Okay. Gooner o'clock on NXT, bro.
Oh man, hey, it's Love Island down there.
There you go. It
I'm
actually
tapped
is.
in. Well, moving on, we got the Queen of the Ring finals, Jade Cargill versus Asuka. Let me go ahead and say this. This match is so overhated. I heard all of the vitriol and the discourse before I watched it, and I was expecting, at some point this to just get really bad or Jade to hilariously mess something up. And sure, Asuka worked the knee and Jade kind of acted like it didn't matter. But you cannot tell me that Jade Cargill is a worse wrestler than like half of the women they have on the roster. Like I would rather see Jade Cargill over Candice LeRae any day of the week. I don't think it's crazy to say that Jade Cargill and Alexa Bliss are the same level of in-ring talent.
Like a Liv Morgan too. The pitchforks didn't come out for Liv Morgan. Why are they coming out for Jade?
And she was a code breaker merchant for the longest time.
Oh, she's improving so much, Micah. You see, she did an extra code breaker in this match. Yeah, I remember.
I think Liv has gotten better.
Yeah, I would hope so. She's been around for 8 years.
But I don't know, man. I just don't. It's a weird scenario because we talked about it off air. People were coming to Jade's aid because Saudi apparently does not take too kindly to people like Jade Cargill. That's all I'll say.
See, I don't know. That seems fugazi to me. I'm not buying that, bro, because they didn't react for 90% of the women that were wrestling that night and on SmackDown. They like they came alive when they saw Natty Neidhart and sat on their hands when they. I mean, they just didn't react to pretty much all the ladies, unless your name was Rhea Ripley.
Well, but I mean, they were like actively booing Jade though.
Okay.
Whereas for like Asuka, they didn't care.
But you didn't think Jade was acting a little heelish in this match?
I mean, I don't. I don't think so. I mean, she's a little showboaty, but that's kind of her character. Like, she's always like that, heel or babyface.
You think it's
So,
more? Do you think it was more of a race thing, Micah?
yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch SmackDown, but I heard that they were booing.
Naomi?
It wasn't Bianca. Yeah, it was Naomi. They were booing her too. So, if it's a one-time thing, screw me once, shame on you.
But she's a heel
Screw
though.
me twice.
But she's a heel though. Like, in that reaction you want as a heel? Don't you want to get booed?
I
Oh no,
mean,
not that kind of boo. We don't want. No.
yeah, it
You
was different.
you should secretly love her because she's being such a great heel. So that's not real heel. That's just racism heel. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Like they say the same thing with
Like I
Logan Paul.
said,
Oh well, they don't really hate his character. They just hate him as a person. So that's not real heel. Yeah, like I hear the same thing about Logan, bro.
well, all I can say is I didn't see SmackDown, but I did kind of feel like it was unwarranted. It was here.
You didn't see SmackDown? Well, that is the last 3 hours SmackDown we're ever gonna see. So
Thank God. Now I
yeah,
might actually start tuning in weekly.
yeah. But bro, people were
Uh,
giving Jade hell online because she botched the pinfall. But Gunther and Randy botched the pinfall last year, bro. I didn't see 1/5 of the outrage for that I did for this. Remember that? They
they're just
botched the
so
pinfall last
ready. Yeah, and then they had to turn it into an angle to make sense.
year.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People are so quick to jump on Jade for anything, and it's just you can't tell me that she is worse than half the roster that WWE has
No.
on the women's side.
Yeah, I agree. She's no Bret Hart in there. But she don't need to be, bro. She gets big reactions. She's like
Yeah.
the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior didn't go in there and do hammerlock, wrist takeover, tackle, drop down. He didn't do any of that stuff. But he was marketable. He was a big star, and he made the company a lot of money. Guess what? Jade Cargill is going to make this company a lot of money. Bro, if you plug Lyra Valkyria into this spot that Jade has, she's not going to get over. Jade is over. You push the people that are over. I don't care if she can't do the 630 swantons through the flaming table. She don't need to do that, bro. Do the basics. Get by what you can.
Yeah. I mean, you said it better than I would. I do have one compliment from. I did. There was a spot where Asuka had a ankle lock and Jade kind of picked her up and Germaned her out of it. I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good spot. Showed Jade's power. But yeah, I definitely do not understand for Jade Cargill. Very very weird.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's didn't see the same vitriol that Jade's getting for Tiffany Stratton when she was getting shoved down our throats 2 years ago. I didn't see any of that. What can Tiffany Stratton do that Jade can't do except do a pretty moonsault? You tell me
And a
that Tiffany
cartwheel to
Stratton?
the corner.
Okay, cartwheel in the corner. You tell me Tiffany Stratton's that much of a better promo than Jade Cargill? I don't think so. You tell me Tiffany Stratton is that much better in the ring than Jade Cargill? Well, we've seen what Tiffany Stratton did on the biggest stage of them all against Charlotte Flair, an all-time great performer. She had a stinker of a match and one of Charlotte's worst match she's ever had. So I don't like that Jay's not getting the same grace as those other people. That rubs me more than the Saudi crowd booing.
It's funny to me too because we talked about it with the Mania review, but like people were so quick to just dog Charlotte for that match. But you had a very good point. How many matches of Charlotte's have I seen that were great? And how many great Tiffany Stratton matches have I seen? Who's the common denominator here?
But she can do a great moonsault, Micah.
Well, people do like the flips nowadays.
There you go.
Not us here on the Scoop Slam podcast.
Let's flip out of this match, bro. Jade,
Well, we're flipping.
congratulations on the Queen of the Ring. Congratulations.
Yes. And we're going to flip to the flipping main event. John Cena versus CM Punk for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Do you want to get into the CM Punk discourse, bro, before the match?
Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and touch on it because, oh my God. I mean, you would have thought that like Punk shot some of these people's family in front of them.
You would think that he sacrificed like a small child over there in Saudi Arabia. Because as soon as he got off the plane in Saudi Arabia, bro, that's a long flight. What, 12, 13 hours, Micah? It's a long flight. Some kid on, I don't know, in the airport just ran up to CM Punk and wanted a picture. And, bro, I mean, Punk, he's a big star. Everybody loves him. People want to take pictures with him. But, bro, I'm coming off a 13-hour flight, bro. Just get off me, man. People demonized him for that, bro. Vilified him for that. Did you see that?
I did. Okay, I'm gonna say two things.
First, that's what kicked it all off, bro.
Yeah. First, like the first time I watched it, I honestly thought it was kind of funny. It's messed up. If that was my kid, I might be mad. But I don't know, the way Punk was just like, nah, get out of here.
What is he doing there though? There was nobody else around. Like, who's he with? Who's this kid? Whose man is this?
Well, not only that, but there's just no context with it. Like, does it look bad? Absolutely. But there was the security guy behind Punk as well that also was shooing the kid away. So maybe Punk was trying to do it easy. I don't know. It's going to sound like I'm just taking up for him, and maybe I am. Because people are going to be like, oh, well, that's a kid. You can't take time. Well, you don't know what he was going to. Like, maybe he had somewhere to be very quickly and didn't have time to take a picture.
Bro, it's a 13-hour flight, bro.
So, yeah, I knew when I saw that clip, I was like, this is going to be an interesting weekend. And then the presser.
Oh, man. The planted fan, as Meltzer said.
I could not believe that when you told me that after, that they planted the fan of all things.
Dave Meltzer on his very prestigious radio show, Mike. He speculated that WWE planted a fake fan in the audience so CM Punk could apologize to the Saudi government. Like, how delusional? Bro, they have Punk delusional syndrome. It has to be.
Yeah. I don't... He hates him so much.
They all do. All because he choked out their favorite play wrestler in Jungle Jack.
And where is he now, huh?
Well, give him the
I'm gonna go ahead and say this about the presser, and then I know you've got the Brandon Thurston article that we're gonna get to.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
But my thing is, people just they acted like he was a hypocrite and he doesn't stand for, and he's not Punk, like he's pro-establishment, this, that, and the other. First off, they turned that into an angle, so people are running with it and they're falling for the kayfabe. But secondly, just because somebody goes somewhere and wrestles does not mean that they co-sign everything that happens in that area. Obviously, people don't agree with what happens in Saudi Arabia. I don't think that CM Punk would go to like pro teacher unions and the No Kings movement and then be like, oh yeah, but I do like that Saudi Arabia makes all their women cover up. That doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, Punk didn't apologize to the Saudi government. He apologized to the fans there in Saudi Arabia because he implied negative things about the country by saying what he said to The Miz. So even if he feels that way about the government, the fans, we said it last week on the podcast, you cannot indict the people of a place for their top 1% of the most powerful people there. Same in America. Like, how many, like, you know, is it fair that Jeffrey Epstein did all that, and if you were like, oh, Americans are just pedophiles, like that's an insane statement to make. Like that's not true.
Yeah.
So I just think it's kind of out there, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, Saudi and it's stupid. I'm not taking Saudi, and you're twisting my words if you believe that. I don't agree with what they do either. Like I believe in a completely different religion than they do over there, but that's not to say that the people over there are just inherently evil and that they just shouldn't have a right to a wrestling show. And ultimately, the dumbest comment I saw this entire weekend, and then I'll pass the torch. Somebody said, well, why didn't he just denounce their government while he was up there?
What?
But, yeah, I kid you not. I heard somebody say, or I saw it on Twitter. They said, well, why couldn't he just say that about the people, but denounce the government? I'm sorry. I think CM Punk would like his head attached to the rest of his body by the weekend. Like, you don't do that over there. How dumb and how brain dead do you have to be? I hate to get that way of wrestling, but like that is just a completely ignorant statement to make.
Oh, and at the press conference where he apologized to the fans were booing him. By the end of that press conference, they were cheering him. On Saturday night, they were cheering him. So what he did at that press conference worked as a babyface. But Micah, let's get into this Brandon Thurston article, bro. What? Brandon Thurston, very notable name in the wrestling community. He writes a lot of articles about the numbers as far as ticket sales goes for both companies, AEW and WWE. I didn't know he wrote actual articles, actual hit pieces like he did for CM Punk. Apparently, that press conference rubbed him the wrong way because he wrote an article, Mike. It was called "From Defiance to Dignity: CM Punk's Redemptive Turn Towards Nihilism." And there's a little piece in this article I want to get your reaction to, because this is like a whole 12, 13 paragraphs of him just calling CM Punk a hypocrite. But in this little piece, he says, Punk, on the other hand, it should be remembered, has outwardly expressed support for gay and transgender rights. He supported abortion access. That's how he now shares the stage with a regime that criminalizes homosexuality activity and punishes gender non-conformity, at least for the citizens. Shows just how open-minded Punk is on matters of principle.
I'm gonna say the same thing that I said to you off air, which is I'm not getting big into the politics. I don't like either side. Just if we're shooting here, but most importantly, to demonize Punk and say by going over there and wrestling, you are co-signing what their government does and stands for. Does that mean when the luchadors come from Mexico to America and wrestle on AEW television that they are co-signing the deportation of Mexicans or Hispanic people? No, because
yeah.
that's the government doing, not the wrestling company. Like, I don't understand how we've gotten this so twisted. Like, no, that's not how that works. Why are we making that angle for CM Punk? Because y'all hate this man, but it's fine for Cody to go over there, or Randy, or Cena, or Jade, or Rhea, or Goldberg, or Undertaker, or Shawn Michaels, or any of the Daniel Bryan. Like, all of these guys have been to Saudi.
Yeah, and it's not even that. The Sonya Deville, Piper Niven, all those people that are openly gay, they went over there. So if Punk is such a hypocrite, then what are those people?
Exactly.
But Micah, the AEW basement dwellers are rubbing their Cheeto-infested hands together. Can't wait to order this new all-in pay-per-view that's taking place in. Let me get my notes out. Like, where are they? Where are they at? Oh, in Texas. that bastion of gay and trans rights over there in Texas, Micah. They can't wait to order that pay-per-view, huh? So why are we not demonizing Hangman Page for going over there to Texas to wrestle John Moxley in the main event?
Yeah, I mean that's the game they want to play. So if it's bad for one guy, it needs to be bad for all. Or if it's okay for some, then it needs to be okay for all.
Yeah.
And I am to the point, dude, I'm so sick of politics in general, just in life. But like outside of wrestling, people get so invested in these people and who they are outside of wrestling. And unless they are just like openly racist, like what's that chick in TNA that made the poop videos, and then she also
Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard, like
that's what
like
you remember
that
for, huh?
Well, I mean, obviously, she made very racial comments, but that's my point. Is like, unless you're just openly hateful or something like that, then yes, I don't like you. But man, at the end of the day, if you're entertaining to me on the television, that's as deep as it goes for me. Like, I don't look at you to be like my idol that I can look up to. I get that for a kid, but like, I'm a grown man. Like, at the end of the day, I hope that I could meet these guys and shake their hand on the side and say, "Oh, thank you for what you do," and they would be cool about it. But like past that, man, I just don't care. I don't know these people. Like, they're personalities on a TV screen. I don't care what they believe.
No, I agree, bro. I agree. And who knew that Ryback would be the voice of reason over the whole weekend? I just sent you the Ryback tweet. Can you read that for all of our listeners here, Mike?
Oh man, this was hilarious because, like you said, who thought this would be the voice of reason? Ryback retweets the Brandon Thurston article and says, "I've had my issues with Punk, but I don't see him as a sellout. He returned to do what he loves to do and to make money, much like you're doing by writing critical think pieces about others for clicks. WWE is a global business. Working at that level means navigating deals, personal beliefs, and public perception. His apology wasn't abandoning values. It was about how he expressed them in public. Well, he expressed them publicly in ways that hurt professional relationships." And he apologized to The Miz. So if you're not The Miz, or you're not Saudi Arabian, why do you care?
They have this, I don't know, man, just because CM Punk beat up their favorite wrestler, they still hold that against them. I don't know, man. It's a weird CM Punk circle jerk that always comes out. If he does anything that is deemed anti-Punk, for lack of a better term, or like even a simple botch in the ring. Oh my God, bro! The videos, they just get bombarded with think pieces like this, and negative Reddit posts, and just the trolls come out, bro. I just don't understand it. The Punk derangement syndrome.
Is that what we're coining that one?
Okay, yeah, we can. PDS. They got PDS.
I like
Mike.
that. I like that. And one last thing, dude, I'm telling you, I probably would not despise Hangman Adam Page as a character on TV. I don't mean personally, everybody. I probably would not despise him if it wasn't the way that people get about him online and his fan base. But the fact that somebody tweeted, "Oh, I just know Hangman is dying laughing right now." Oh, is Hangman laughing with his child molester friend, Marty Scurll? Because, that doesn't sound like a good moral high ground to be. But this is my point, man. Like, everybody in life has said something that they regret, or done something that they regret, or had an opinion years ago that they don't hold anymore. Like, we're humans. We grow as we go through life. Why is that okay for some people and it's not okay for others? And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not here to talk about politics, but like, Jesus, man.
We didn't
Like,
get into that.
why do people care so much about backstage stuff?
And it takes a real man to apologize and admit to his mistakes, and that's what CM Punk did.
Yeah, that's another thing, because most people won't apologize.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what they demonized him for in AW. Oh, he won't apologize. He only wants it to be his way. And then he apologizes to the people of Saudi Arabia. Well, you're a sellout.
No, not like that. No.
God. Well, anyways, we've got a match to break down. John Cena versus CM Punk was the main event. You know, we got to talk about this wrestling.
The Graps.
Graps. Slow start, which is to be expected in some Graps, but Cena led the majority of the match.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have any faith that Punk was going to win this, but I have to admit, after the third AA with a kick out, I was swayed.
You believe?
I think they had me.
I did too.
Because I was like, man, you know, I know he's going to cheat, but is there a chance? You know, and they got me, man. So for that reason, I think that this worked up to the run in, man, and the ref bumps.
Yeah, we got the Bloodline Rules special in the main event.
You know, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We've already talked about the run-ins and how overused they are by Triple H and the fact that we already had so many. But, I mean, Triple H really has an inability to book heel champions without a run-in. Well, it really has an inability to book heel champions because throw in Gunther last year as well. But it's like he leans so much on these interferences, and had Cena just kind of cheated a little bit to beat CM Punk, I think that would have been fine. But, you know, then we got to throw in Seth, and we've made our statement here about Seth and Punk. Please, for the love of God, end this at SummerSlam, and I don't want to see these two within 15 feet of each other for the next 5 years.
Well, where do you go for the ending here? Because CM Punk's has had the Hell in a Cell match, Micah. They've had CM Punk's had a cage match with Rollins. He's had the triple threat match. So what stipulation do you have? Last man standing? I quit. 3 stages of hell. What do you do personally if you had the pin?
Can we get a loser leaves town?
Okay.
I'm not. And we get Seth out of here.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't want to do that, because I think Seth's gonna beat Punk.
Welcome back, Tyler Black. See you on Wednesdays.
Hey, he'd be good over there.
Yeah, he'd fit right in. Yeah, I don't know, man. And then like we got Penta, and he kind of felt like shoehorned into this. I mean, I like Penta, but like I don't know that it. I know he had some stuff with Braun, but it just felt weird.
It did feel off. Like you ever see that Drake meme where he's with the Kentucky Wildcats and like the sitting down watching the film?
Yeah.
It just felt like why is Penta here?
And he did his best Jeff Hardy impression by taking as long as possible and doing his dance to get down there.
You got to do your little strut. I mean, he wasn't. Was he necessarily on Cena's side? I didn't see a problem.
I think he was just against Rollins. And
yeah,
I say all that to say this. I think this is my favorite Cena match since he's come back. Like, it's not a high bar to jump over. Some nostalgia because I just like Punk. But I think they actually got me in this one for even just a split second. And I have not had that feeling any of the.
Yeah, see, I gotta push back. I gotta push back on that one because I thought the Randy Cena match was actually a better match. This was still a pretty good match, but I don't think it was necessarily as better than what Randy and Cena did at Backlash.
I think I went into that one hating a little bit, admittedly.
Yeah, you hate goggles on.
Yeah, well, that and I also really I didn't love the finish here, but I really disliked the finish of the Backlash match because Like the Aldous stuff was just weird, and like this had a lot of run-ins, but that felt like it wasn't like 3 layers of like refs or cheating or something. I remember it being like so convoluted.
And then R-Truth got involved.
Yeah. So
yeah, you weren't a fan of that. But you were a fan of
no,
Penta coming out there strutting around and getting involved, huh? All right.
I don't know. Like I said, I guess to each their own. I'm probably biased with this one, and I think I enjoyed it more. Plus, I was more into the segments with this than I was with any of Cena's other stuff with anyone else.
Yeah. It had that electric feel too at the beginning of the match because they were coming.
Oh yeah.
They didn't. The Saudi crowd were quiet for most of the matches, but they were not quiet for this match right here. They treated it like
not
it
at
was the main
all.
event. They treated it like it was the main event of WrestleMania, which I mean, it's a huge deal. It's the last time we're gonna see Cena and Punk in the ring together. So they treated it like it should have been treated. Bro, for what they had, only with a 2-week build, they did what they could. But this really deserved the SummerSlam spotlight of having a whole month and a half long build. You know, this really needed
No, I agree.
longer to cook because this is what we were most looking forward to in the Cena return. Is him and CM Punk one more time and one last feud with the roles reversed, and we only got a taste of it. I want the whole load.
You're really trying to fit that in every week, huh?
Yeah.
No, I mean I feel you 100%, and I just had 2 more things about the match, and I would 10 times rather see this going into SummerSlam than Punk and Seth, but you know that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
But like, what was Seth's ability to magically call ref in the middle of the match? You know, like the ref had been there for 10 minutes up to this point, and Seth just motions to the door. Oh yeah, let me send a ref. Which that leads me to our next point. Charles Robinson, all-star performance, because oh my god, he got leveled, and especially Charles ain't no young buck no more. So it was a crazy spot. I did pop for that.
You read my notes. I put Charles Robinson MVP of the match. Are you reading my notes again?
Nah. Wow, I'm very shocked that you also specifically said all-star or MVP. Oh, that was a classic bump.
He took the WrestleMania 2008 bump where he actually no, he didn't take a bump, but he did the whole sprint to the ring, the comically large ramp. He did the whole sprint. You remember that when it was Edge versus Undertaker, and he was the ref that came out to do the pinfall, and he just did like an 80-yard sprint to the ring.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times with like the Rocky music put behind it.
Yeah, they recreated that here, man. 16 years, 17 years later. It's crazy.
Golly. Okay, I'm fine with the refs staying that long. Like I like Charles, but Cena being here 20, I don't know. But the Graps were fine, but we got to break it down, Ryan. Give me your rating out of 10 for Night of Champions.
Oh boy. 4.2. Give it like a 4.2.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, 4.2. I wasn't as high on this show as I thought I was gonna be. I mean, there really wasn't any classic matches that I'm gonna go back and watch. Maybe the Cena Punk stuff. Cody, Randy, I probably won't. It was good. 4.2 sounds fair.
I mean,
You disagree?
It did feel a little. I'm gonna put it a little higher. I say 6. It wasn't. It wasn't bad. It's just like you said, not memorable. And so for that reason, like, I don't put it over Double or Nothing. I still think that's pay-per-view of the year so far. And I wouldn't put it over Backlash because I thought Backlash had a pretty decent undercard. But like, I'd probably say I walked away from this with a better feeling than Wrestling 41.
I got it. higher than Money in the Bank that we just did.
Yeah, we were threes across the board on that one.
Yeah, but this show, it just, I mean, it was there. It wasn't the best Saudi show they've done, and none of these matches were absolute barn burner classics. So yeah, I'm just down on this whole year. Bro. The middy's gonna be interesting this week because I don't know how we're gonna be able to do this.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested. I got to get the sheet, and I'm gonna have to do some like legit research because man, there's no clear winner for anything. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm gonna
maybe
study
other
the
than
game.
Rookie of the Year.
Wait, give me your favorite right here.
Oh, come on, got to be El Grande Americano, right?
Well, he's injured. Oh no, he came back. Never mind. No, forgot.
About to say.
Yeah, okay.
He did.
Right. Okay. I don't hate
Injury
that.
can't keep him down.
Okay.
Lastly, what would be your best match from the show?
Probably Randy and Cody. Best match. Probably the match that I had most fun with is Punk and Cena though. But the best bell to bell, Graps as we called it, that was Randy Cody.
Hey, that qualifies under the Graps too, because the average age in that match is.
I know. Yeah, Randy about 46, 47. Cody, what, 40? Yeah, it qualifies.
Or maybe not 45, but it's over 40. So
yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna say, like you said, most fun match to me was was Cena and Punk, just because, the little kid in me was like, just happy getting to see that again. But I think the match that I most walked away from, surprised at how good it was Raquel versus Rhea. I actually really, really enjoyed that match. And Randy and Cody was good. I knew what to expect. So I think for the fact that it was better than I thought it was, I got to give them Raquel and Rhea.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, we'll get out of here, and I guess we'll find ways to keep stepping on people's toes because, man, I don't think we said anything positive in this show. From the start of the show, we talked good about the Lakers and Alabama. Everything else was just hate watch.
No. We said we liked a couple things now.
A few things, but, we got on the Saudi stuff and the AEW fans.
Well, we call a spade here on Scoop Slam Podcast. I don't know what podcast you were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, don't come here with your feelings on your sleeve because we just call things like we see it. But next week we're gonna be back calling things like we see it for our mid-year awards, middies. Gonna be a fun show. We always have a good time with it, and then the week after that is the pay-per-view extravaganza, All In. Evolution, Saturday night's main event. So an exciting next 2 weeks. Make sure you're tapped into all our socials. Link is going to be in the description. We're doing big numbers on TikTok, Instagram right now. Appreciate all you guys showing out there. Like I said, we'll be back next week, so make sure you got those notifications on. Take care of yourself over the weekend. Happy 4th of July to those of you who celebrate. Have a good one.